since the gun cannot kill an ideology, we need a counter-narrative and the following. Nigeria can truly be called a nation if the leaders are selfless, if the citizens are willing to make sacrifice. Is democracy working in Africa? What are the indicators of international conspiracy in Nigeria? I don't think that religion is the problem, but it is possible that the operators of the religion can be the problem. I was representing the whole of Africa in the Vatican as a consultor for the Commission for Religious Relations with Muslims. And that is one of our encounter with the Holy Father, Pope Benedict. The outline that I was given, you can see it in the context. I try, given that I'm coming to talk to military men and women, I had to obey the last order. So I stuck to the outline. You could see that the outline I was given, I did not deviate from it. I followed it word for word. Now, we are going to use these two books for our presentation. Coincidentally, I'm the author of the books. Dialogue in Context in Nigeria Experience. That was my research when I was a consultant in the Vatican representing the whole of Africa. And the other one is From Dream to Reality, Dialogue of Encounter. What gave rise to this book was my experience in Onitsha when Francis Cardinal Rinze was narrating his encounter with General Gowon during the Civil War, when General Gowon wanted all the missionaries to leave the country, and the Cardinal had to meet him in Lagos to appeal to him to suspend the action. So a lot of things happened too. So I had to title this book Dialogue of Encounter. And of course, Dialogue of Encounter is what I added to the forms of dialogue when I was a consultant. As we will see, we had 4 forms, but I was able to present this encounter to the Vatican, and it was accepted. Now, to the main topic of the day. Whenever the lyrics of the national anthem are echoed, the Nigerian citizens are reminded of their pledge to serve our fatherland as one nation bound in freedom, peace, and unity. So with this oath of allegiance, to serve one nation, justice is needed, because there can be no peace without justice. So we need justice to establish and promote peaceful coexistence. Incidentally, the human and natural resources are not in short supply. So we can grow a great nation of national unity if we are determined with a strong political will. And I asked my friend, the Hassan, to follow me. You could see a policeman who is doing a second doctorate. So if a police can have 2 doctorates, it shows that the military, the security agencies, they also believe in the use of brain, as we will see later. So it's not just all about force, but it's all about brain. So with Nigeria's independence, therefore, it was thought that the end of slavery and colonialism had been achieved. Unfortunately, Nigeria is still gasping for breath like a patient on oxygen, seeking for survival. This project of national identity has been fractured into Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, and the tribes that are labeled ethnic minorities. Since independence, every leader felt that, like a good orthopedic surgeon, he or she could mend these broken bones to form one body. The Civil War slogan, "To keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done," indicated that this project to build and grow one nation, one Nigeria, is important, and this calls for emergency response. But can the gun and weapons of mass destruction unite a nation? Can the gun kill an ideology? Can the gun impose virtue in the heart of human beings? If the answer is no, it means that we need mental re-engineering, change of values and change of attitude. And this will be my refrain in this presentation. Brothers and sisters, these two pictures I have presented here, you understand them better than me. And this is why I dare not do commentary on them, because this is your feed. It's like when I told my supervisor when I was defending my PhD, I said, the external supervisor, are you the one defending or I'm the one defending? Here, I don't want to teach you what you know. What could be happening here? Can you imagine, see General Gowon and Ojukwu eating from the same plate? In African culture, when you eat from the same plate, you are swearing an oath. You are making a covenant. Covenant of love, unbreakable love, unconditional love. Officers, did this agape endure for long? What happened to the Aburi Accord that has become a recurring decimal in our polity today? Is Nigeria united after the Civil War? These are questions we need to ponder. That the military and other agencies have religious champions shows that the security agencies think beyond the gun. This NDC course 32 is an eye-opener to the nation that the training organized by the National Defense College is holistic and that the use of ideas in combating security is indispensable. What Nigeria knows is NDA. Beyond NDA, we don't know that the military, the security agencies have other forms of training. That's what many of us know. Though I have been involved in a series of interactions with the military, so I pray that the security agencies will receive enough support to keep Nigeria safe and make the nation a peaceful home for everyone, irrespective of tribe and religion. This NDC Course 32 is among the efforts that have been made by some individuals and groups to keep Nigeria one. And I must congratulate the organizers of this program. This course reveals to me that the military and security agencies are doing a lot to keep the country safe and united, but these efforts are not known to the public. Before I go on, let me make this remark. Yesterday, I came here when the tontine was making his presentation. I wanted to be sure that I know the venue. The first place I went to was the Sheep House. I thought that was a place. And the soldiers I met there, oh, Father, where are you going? Their attitude, their politeness. In fact, I felt important the way they handled me with dignity. And let me confess here, when I'm traveling on the road, I don't wait for police to stop me. I stop on my own. And if they are doing a good job, I made some offer. But if you ask me for my particulars, and even if I have, I will not give you, because as at that time, I'm under investigation, and whatever I give will be a bribe. I'm trying to talk about the mentality here. When I was coming from Christmas break, some VIO stopped me. Where are your particulars? My driver provided the particulars. And he said he used his camera and snapped. He said, no, it's not a correct one. So I called the VIO officer. I'm saying this publicly here so that it can be on air. And I called the VIO who did my particulars in Abuja. And two of them started arguing. You did it offline. And the VIO Lokoja said, you follow us to the office. I said, for what crime? For the same crime both of you committed. I paid for this thing. I'm not going to any office. You go and correct whatever you want to correct. Or if need be, we go to court. And the man said, hey, Father, please, can you find something for my boys? I said, not while I'm under investigation. What point am I trying to make here? I'm talking about mental engineering. If you offer bribe to a police in US or Europe, you know what will happen to you. So, apart from the military, from the security agencies, some lay people have tried also to make this effort visible. Our sister, late Professor Dora Akunyele, led the Ministry of Information and Communications in the rebranding Nigeria campaign for national integrity and use of ideas to showcase the dignity of the nation. Whether you like it or not, me, if I die today, and God say, I want to send you back to the world, which country do you want to go? I will still beg God to bring me back to Nigeria. Some of you will be surprised, Father, how? Why? Those of you who have traveled, there's no country like Nigeria. Forget about the banditry, the terrorism. Nigeria is the most generous country in the world. If people come from abroad to our place, we offer them gifts. We offer them accommodation. Now I'm going to Ghana to give a lecture, to talk to their minister and buy my ticket. And they wanted me to even buy my food until the Archbishop of Accra intervened. Look at the way you people have been treating us. You took me to one cozy room with my friends. That is Nigeria. Nigeria will heal thee. We are trying our best, but we can do better. Here, what rules Nigeria is not ideas. That is the problem we are having. And what rules Nigeria is greed. Hence, late Professor Dora Akunyele died without realizing her dream. May she rest in peace. Some of our leaders, military and civilian, have expressed a kind of shock in what they think they could do. And I want to pick on only two of our leaders, the recent ones. President Muhammadu Buhari lamented the depth of division as a result of religion and ethnicity in Nigeria. He said, wicked propagandists continue to spread vicious lies about me for political gain, including claiming that I once asked Muslims not to vote for Christians. This must be the height of absurdity. That was during the 2015 campaign. And our Baba continued. The Quran tells me that in the entire world, those that are nearest in love to me are those who believe in Jesus Christ. And I can say that is true. And I can prove it to you. Father, amen. Can you stand up, please? Just a second. No. Can you turn around? This Reverend Father studied Arabic and the Quran and Islamic studies. He's a Catholic priest. And I can proceed to say a prayer for you in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Maliki yawmiddin iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghayril maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amen. I did not go to study Arabic like him, but how did I come about my Arabic? It was a Malam from Kaduna. We were living together in Afuze. His children taught me how to pray in Arabic. I'm only trying to say that in this country, we have only two parties, not APC and PDP or APGA and Labour. The parties are just the poor and the rich. As we go forward, you will see how they weaponize religion to divide us. The second person is President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. In his books, I'm sure some of you must have read it, My Transition Errors. And he said, it takes conscience to use power as a shield, and ego to use power as a sword. When some individuals preach one Nigeria in public, those who know them better in private simply chuckle. One Nigeria where there's equity, fairness and justice is what I believe is best for the people of this country. In Nigeria, during football matches, we just finished one, involving the national teams and foreign teams, both Christians and Muslims sing and dance to the tune of the same music. That is patriotism. In politics, I'm yet to see such patriotism. But in Africa, politicians consider their country's interests first. In whatever they do, the continent will continue to lag behind. Politics should be about the people and not about fighting to occupy offices. To attain national unity in Nigeria, many people look at the person at the head of leadership or governance. And here I want to make a little clarification. I'm sorry if this will offend you. Even if you bring a Gabriel and a Jibri to become president of Nigeria today, and remove the incumbent president, Nigeria cannot change. Because the rot in this country is down to the gate man, to the security man. Every Nigeria is a stakeholder in our national unity. We need to change our values and our attitudes. Yet, to attain national unity in Nigeria, many people look at the person at the head of leadership or governance. I want to share some puzzles with you. We have thought that if educated people are rulers in this country or leaders, Nigeria will be okay. They have come and gone. Oh, let women rule us. They have come and gone. Let the young rule us. They have come and gone. What of professionals? technocrats. Are we the better? Are the young really ruling us with what is happening? Is the youngest governor the best governor? Is the woman in power the best leader? Is the youngest person in position of leadership the best? If the head of course is bad, then the body will be rotten. Why? Because the head should be able to do monitoring and evaluation. You need to be able to check the people. You award a contract, the road is not done, and the person is still walking freely on our streets. That is the first part of the assignment you gave me. The second part is interreligious cooperation. So experience has shown that many of this group of people have failed in many sectors of leadership. The implication is that every citizen in Nigeria needs change of values, change of attitude, mental re-engineering. And we need this cooperation. So interreligious cooperation and the role of religious leaders is really very amazing that we have military chaplains, both Islam and Christianity. The police have their own. The first time I met my brother was when he came to represent the IG in our NIREC meeting. So, we need this cooperation. And religious leaders have a role to play by refocusing the citizens through preaching, religious re-education. The religious leaders can achieve this by witness of life. Fitishin says, if a priest stands at the pulpit to preach, before you just say ABCD, the sermon is preached. We need to let the people know that this word is not an home, we are only passing through. So if political office seekers listen to their religious leaders, there could be some level of collaboration that could lead to conversion and national unity. And here we need intra-religious dialogue. Let the Christians come inside and talk to themselves. Muslims, enter your mosque, talk to yourself, and let us see how we go. Now, interreligious dialogue. How many people really want it? We need it to continue. Because we have forms of dialogue. Dialogue of life, what we do on a daily basis. There is no Christian market and there is no Muslim market. We all meet every day. Dialogue of a social engagement, where Christians and Muslims and people of other religions can come together to fight for social amenities, to fight for a common cause. Dialogue of theological exchange, where experts like what we are doing now come together to do mental gymnastics. Dialogue of religious experience, what God has done for me, let me narrate it the way I feel. If I say I dream I was eating ukbusa with granite soup, you can't say because you are from Jos, therefore my dream was not ukbusa but it was karakashi. Or I was eating a wedu or ofe isala. So dialogue of religious experience is the capacity to express how you feel about God. And of course, dialogue of encounter. I've explained that. So Nigerians are very religious people. Therefore we should try and promote peace and human values. And we should use religion not for political and economic interests, not to divide and cause chaos. What's the meaning of politics? The word politics is derived from the Greek polis, meaning city. So a politician is therefore a person who cares for the common good and welfare of the citizens in the city. So, politics therefore should promote good governance through justice. But unfortunately, some greedy politicians weaponize hunger and poverty, ethnicity and religion to cause violence. Some religious leaders leaders use politics for selfish gains. Interreligious cooperation says these are the different efforts by different international organizations to make sure that they support Nigeria. And you can, of course, all these ones are in my books. Then the Department of Mission and Dialogue of the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria, Father Emehe, is in charge of dialogue in that department, while Father Michael Moore is in charge of communication. So this department created a forum for dialogue between Catholic and Muslim women. The department also initiated dialogue between Catholic and Muslim youths. And this department welcomed our father, late John Louis Cardinal Turan, the former president of Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue. After all the stay in Nigeria, Cardinal Turan came out with one statement that Nigeria is full of surprises. Now, the necessity of NIREC. This is just 1 minute video. NIREC is an outward side of government interest in promoting peaceful coexistence.
NIREC come with stabilizing position that helps government on one hand and also help Nigerian citizens on the other.
Why did we start NIREC? It was because we began to see signs of a beginning of a sense of division of the country along religious lines.
My own suggestion is that we religious leaders will come together on our own and then seek the blessings of government.
What I did was to dialogue with the then president of the country, Chief Obasanjo, on the issue.
Is there a role that the leaders in these two religions can play to dampen the issue of violent conflicts? And I believe there is.
The Nigeria Interreligious Council, NIREC, is a voluntary association formed by the representatives of the two principal religions in Nigeria, Christianity and Islam. Established on the 11th day of September 1999.
I'm hoping that in the future, every community will be aware of the existence of NIREC.
NIREC is fulfilling its mandate and it will continue to fulfill its mandate.
Let's come together, please close ranks. Throw away politics when it comes to dealing with all these issues.
At NIREC, we will continue to contribute to promoting religious understanding and ensure that Nigeria is on a path to peaceful coexistence.
So this, in brief, is a background for NIREC because the topic is divided into two. We finish the first part and there is the second part, the necessity of NIREC in Nigeria. Now, the above 2-minute video clip is extracted from the NIREC documentary. So the full documentary is on YouTube. You can just type NIREC documentary and you will view the whole. So the necessity for NIREC. So So you may be right to ask, if the search for one nation has not been successful since the creation and independence of Nigeria, why do you think of a peaceful venture into the same search through the Nigeria Interreligious Council, NIREC? And I could begin my answer with the preamble to the Constitution of NIREC that appears to me like a compass that points to the direction of peaceful coexistence and unity. This process, we the representatives of the two principal religions in Nigeria, Islam and Christianity, voluntarily decided by ourselves to come together to form an association on the 11th day of September 1999, and the association having been inaugurated on the 29th day of September 1999. So here, the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and the Christian Association of Nigeria actually came together to form NIREC. And I want to say that Nigeria is so lucky. Lucky in the sense that in the whole of Africa, like I told you, I was a consultant representing the whole of Africa, so I'm talking with this authority. It's only in Nigeria all Christians come together to form an association of that kind. It is only in Nigeria all Muslims come together to form an association of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs. So you saw the Sultan talking and the Khan president. So I believe that there is a lot that can be done with NIREC. And that is why I take my endorsement as Executive Secretary of NIREC as a mission given to me by God through the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria. Remember that NIREC is a non-governmental organization, but yet the office of NIREC is in the Federal Secretariat Complex. And that is because the government feel that NIREC is helping to dampen tension, religious tension in the country. And this is the organogram of NIREC. You have the co-chairman, that is the President General of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, and the President of CAN, and of course the Executive Secretary. I'm the one standing here. The committees, and these are the committees: education, public issues, research and planning, finance, dialogue and peace building, international relations. NIREC also has a global outlook. The head of this outlook is Religious for Peace, and the headquarters is in New York, USA. The African Council of Religious Leaders, which is in Nairobi, Kenya. The West Africa Interreligious Council, Abuja, Nigeria. And the membership of NIREC, you have 30 Christians and 30 Muslims. And we have study committees, and these committees are education, public issues, research, finance, dialogue, and peace building committees. So what are the activities of NIREC? The frequent conflict between Christians and Muslims that often lead to burning of the houses of worship has been reduced to the barest minimum. Now we can understand the tension, like what is religion, what is politics, and what is ethnic. Before any spark, you can easily see Christians burning mosques and Muslims burning, churches. You understand, maybe you must have heard of the woman that was arrested in Bauchi. How NIREC intervened and the woman was released. So these are the things we do in the office. Monitors the media on a daily basis, call those who make hate speeches to order, identify potential hotspots, and so on and so forth. So the activities and interventions of NIREC, the council meet 4 times in a year, and the office of NIREC operates daily with a full-time executive secretary, administrative secretary, and other staff. And we issue communique through the media. And these are some of the activities, like meeting with the president for other issues. And NIREC are able to intervene in ASU strike, as you can see. The alleged demolition of Trust Amadi Mosque in Port Harcourt, we went into it, and we discovered that what was actually demolished was the foundation, not the entire mosque. And we also visit the Chief of Defense Staff, and this is one of the things NIREC did, and you can see all that. We visited the president concerning a lot of issues, the state of the nation, well-being of Nigerians, the security, and that government should be proactive and need for intelligence gathering, fund the armed forces adequately. And we discussed the issues of unemployment, the issues of good governance, and the failure of the police force and the judiciary can ruin the nation. So justice for every citizen will prevent ethnic and religious profiling if there is justice. So we have the consultative forum in Jos. These are all the activities of NIREC and the resolutions that we are taking. The challenges faced by NIREC. Here you see that the leadership of NIREC is the Supreme Council, their president, CAN, their president. But there is a problem here. The Supreme Council, their leadership is for life, whereas that of CAN is every 4 years. And this will mean that for NIREC to do well, the co-chairmen must agree and must have some level of understanding. And I show you this graphically. The first co-chairman of NIREC, Sultan Machido M. Abubakar III and Prince Sunday Umba. Then the second co-chairman, Sultan Haji Muhammad Sahad Abubakar and John Cardinal Nayekon. Then you have the same Sultan and Ayo Risha Jaffa. Then is the same Sultan for the fourth and Samsi Ayokule and the present one. You see that for us to sustain NIREC, the Christians should look for a way of getting the tenure of their president longer so that they can work harmoniously. So NIREC is actually working with the office of the Secretary to Government of the Federation. That is why I said the enthusiasm of government. So if a government come up and they are not interested in peace building, they are not interested in dialogue, then we cannot go anywhere. NIREC has had problem of taking the message of peace to the grassroots to meet where the foot soldiers are. And again, difficulty in working with security agencies. Many Nigerians don't understand the military. Many Nigerians understand the military with force. They don't understand the military with human heart, the humaneness of the military. So the military should need to a little bit loosen up so that we can understand them better. And when you see soldiers, you see police with this uniform, the first thing that strikes you is force, action. Because this one does not portray dialogue. And it's also, I think, is a problem. So the way forward. Since the gun cannot kill an ideology, we need a counter-narrative and the following. We must strengthen capacity of institutions on the ground, advocacy with religious and traditional leaders, advocate for respect of human dignity, develop an early warning mechanism, develop up-to-date intelligence gathering, identify the root of our problems through dialogue, then use educational spaces for dialogue with the citizens. Need for intra-religious dialogue. Kill an erroneous idea with the weapon fashioned from a more reasonable idea in the form of dialogue ad intra. A reasonable idea does not contradict universally accepted values such as respect for human life. We can say goodbye to terrorism in Nigeria and elsewhere if we are determined without the gun like the son of Hamas. It is not enough to say that the terrorists do not belong to the religion they profess. There are some contradictions in the belief, ideology, and operations of the terrorist groups. Intellectual jihad against eternal invaders of true peace. Where did we go wrong? When did we miss the point? Who will change this situation? If not me, who? If not now, when? Conclusion. As many social movements indicate, peace in Africa as elsewhere, especially in Nigeria, is conditioned. Hence, it is important for the church and even the Muslims to promote dialogue and spiritual disposition so that believers may learn to work together. This is taken from Africhemunus. Conclusion. Continue. Nigeria can truly be called a nation if the leaders are selfless, if the citizens are willing to make sacrifice, if we can heal our wounds from the root, if we can think less of our personal gains and think more of the common good. These are some of the questions that you can ponder on. Is democracy working in Africa? What are the indicators of international conspiracy in Nigeria? How do we create a culture of peace in Nigeria? What is the effect of climate change in Nigeria economy? What is the effect of currency devaluation in Nigeria or in Africa? Happy you are from Europe. Nigeria is suffering from international conspiracy. International conspiracy in the sense that we are being recolonized over and over again. Foreign ideas are being sold into us, and we think that is the way out. Let me tell you that the farms we have in this country, for example, iron and steel industry, Alaja, Ajaokuta, the natural resources we have in our country, the human resources we have in our country, if we cultivate them, everybody will have enough to eat and enough to give out. The problem is not the population, the problem is management. Some Muslim youth came from the National Mosque to meet me in the Catholic Secretariat that I should help them to organize a seminar. And the title of that seminar was Religious Re-Education. I was wondering why re-education, because they believe that some of our youth have been indoctrinated. And unfortunately, the date we picked, I was going to be in France. So I called the seminarist, John Cardinal Nayekon, if he could help with the keynote address, and he agreed. So while I was in Paris, I was called that the Muslim youth want to burn down the Catholic Church in Cairo. So I picked my phone and I called the leader of the Muslim youth then, Abubakar. So Abubakar, I heard you people want to burn down the Catholic Church. He said, it's not true. He ran there. When he got there, this is what happened. A Catholic woman was brought by a Muslim boy on a bike to the church. And the Catholic woman didn't have change. And so he told the boy, wait outside here for me so that I go inside and get change from those who are selling bulletin. So while he was there, a military woman came and told the bike to clear out from that place. And the boy explained why. But I don't know, something happened and there was fracas. And the boy was pushed into the gutter and he started screaming that he has been made to drink water. And it was Ramadan. And the problem was between the Okada man and the security agents. But what was on the news was that the Muslims want to burn down a church. So coincidentally, I came back from France. We organized ourselves. And we discovered that there was a shootout. And a Muslim boy, if there was a mosque or there is a mosque nearby, that bullet trapped him on his private parts. And this soldier said they had spent some money trying to treat the boy. But it was not better off. So what did we do? I called the cardinal again. We took the boy to St. Mary's Catholic Hospital in Gwagwalada. He was treated free of charge. And that narrative, what was in the press, that there was conflict between Muslim youth and the church, was wrong. So rather, I think religion has been manipulated. Religion has been weaponized. When you see the Sultan and the camp president together, you begin to wonder what is, and this is the essence of NIREC. So yes, it is true that some pastors can preach, especially during the last election, which was a kind of eyesore. The way they preach in the church, the way they preach in the mosque, as if this election was jihad and crusade. So the religious leaders had a role to play. You see, any good thing can be misused. Because I'm sure if a military officer meets a junior, because what we have been seeing on the social media, some police who misbehave, the leadership of that police force never let them go scot-free. They punish them. So in the military too. So in that case, in the church too, there is abuse. But I don't think that religion is a problem. But it is possible that the operators of the religion can be a problem. We are actually supposed to have the NIREC at the grassroots, local government level. So like this year now, we have decided that we will not have NIREC meeting in Abuja. By the grace of God, in June, we're going to Akwa Ibom. We are thinking of going to Sokoto anytime before June, but we are waiting for green light. And normally, what NIREC normally do is to move from one zone to the other. But at individual level, there is a lot we can do. Like what I do in Abuja, I try to interact with the grassroots, like all these comblers and what is it called now? I don't want to use the word almighty. I'm trying to use a word for them. At least my sister is here, a policewoman who works in the Federal Secretariat. There was a day I met some boys in the police station. These are the boys I interact with in Area 1. And I was able to convince the police that, yes, I know these boys. I don't think they are what you think they are. So one of the police now said, Father, you are from the south and you are a Catholic priest. And this man is a Muslim, he's from the north. Why do you think you know them very well? I said, well, they helped me to repair my watch, and I think we can give them the benefit of the doubt. We can listen to them. Since after that episode, I think the police eventually they released them. When I now came to Area 1, one of them started buying coconut for me. And they were really very happy. The point I'm trying to make here is that we don't have to reach the grassroots only through, at the institutional level. Personally, we can reach out to them. we can see what they are doing. I have been working with Muslims since 1991. And I don't think I have anything to regret doing that. And sometimes too, when you meet a Muslim and a Muslim meets a Christian, the encounter, you are here, I'm sure there are Muslims sitting down here, and I'm sure there are Christians, even in the military. When you are wearing uniform, do you know who is a Muslim and who is a Christian? You don't know. So I think we can reach the grassroots personally, apart from the institutional level. It's a challenge. Pray for us. And remember that NIREC is not just the 60 members, 30 Christian, 30 Muslim. You as a Christian, you as a Muslim, by extension, you are a member of NIREC. Because it's a collective duty that the nation, we have given to ourselves to help the nation to bring peace and national unity. In Nigeria, the traditional religion is not, they don't have an organogram. They don't have a kind of association. Like now, we can say the Sultan of Sokoto is the President General of the Nigeria Supreme Council of Religious Affairs, for Religious Affairs. And Archbishop Daniel Oko is the President of Christian Association of Nigeria. But in Nigeria, we cannot identify who is the head of the traditional religion in Nigeria. And the traditional religion in Nigeria, is not homogeneous. It's not homogeneous, like all the Christians call on Jesus, while all the Muslims call on the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So like my own place, like in my village, we have Uloko, we have Otsa, we have Ayoba. These are different, deities. But can we group these deities under one religion? Like when I was studying Africa traditional religion in the university, we were told not to even say Africa traditional religion, that every religion is traditional to the adherents. Even in Europe, like our brother could testify, you have your own traditional religion. Christianity is a traditional religion for Christians. Islam is a traditional religion for Muslims. So they say, rather than say Africa traditional religion, we should have African primary religion. Like if you go through this, you will see that the way I itemize the different religions in the world, you will get them in this publication. So that is the problem. But it's not that we are not that. But who really could come out, like when I was asked to bring a traditional religionist who does not practice Islam and Christianity to Rome to see Pope Benedict, I look around the north. So we even make a joke about it. I call Bishop Kuka. He said, go to Benin, they do juju. So eventually I got the Sekure of Benin Kingdom, and I went to Rome with him. He was welcomed, and he was among all the other religions like the Hindus, the Buddhists, to shake hands with the Pope. Hunger and anger. A lot of the proliferation, the churches you see today, where you want to look at them using ecclesiastical method, they are not really churches. For me, I see them as, how do I call them? They are cultic houses, some of them. Like you see a pastor coming out making people to eat grass. A pastor sucking a woman's breast in the church. He says he's sucking out cancer. A pastor anointing a woman's private part Do you call that Christianity? Many of them are occult people. Now, what is NIREC doing? The best NIREC can do is to encourage intra-religious dialogue. Now, there are criteria of belonging to CAN. It's not every of these church you see that the other CAN, no. Even PFN and CPFN, it's not all these people, everybody who is doing all this that belong to them. Even in the Supreme Council, it's not every sect that is a member of the Supreme Council. There are a lot of Muslim Islamic sects too, but not all of them belong to the Supreme Council. So the truth is that when you see lizards on the wall, plenty lizards, you never know the one that has stomachache. Yes, they are carrying this Bible, and they say they are called by God. Many of them, some of them, apart from being cultic, some of them need mental examination. Some of them are really sick. I think we are sitting down here, 1, 2, 3, we are 3 priests here. To produce one Reverend Father, you will finish 6 years in the secondary school. And in primary school, 6 years secondary school. I think our land is now 12 years in the major seminary. You spend 12 years in the major seminary to have your degrees in philosophy and theology. As if you want a master's degree, you go for another 2 years. And if it is scriptures, the Bible they carry, to have a licentiate is 6 years. Then to have a PhD, you need another 6 years altogether to produce a scripture scholar. And somebody will carry a Bible and said, I'm called by God, and interpreting it. Like what happened in Benin once. A man came out, I will call him a pastor. He said God called him to open a church. He opened the church. And the man did what? He sliced off his Baba Kege. They rushed him to the hospital. Why? He said the Bible say, whatever causes you to sin, cut it off. So whatever is making him to commit adultery, he cut it off. So just don't see all those. It's not all that glitter that is good. So what NIREC is doing is to encourage CAN to handle their people. Then the Supreme Council handle your people. NIREC actually does it fair in both sides.